guys, Fuse here from Fuse Travels, helping you travel stress-free and smarter to Europe. In today's video, we're going to talk about Italy in March because Italy in March is a great month to go. Number one, we probably can take advantage of spring break dates and take your kids, especially if they're older. Number two, it's still shoulder season, which means you're going to find cheaper flights, cheaper hotels, and it will be less crowded. Now, I know what you're thinking, Fuse, what about the weather? So let's talk about it. Festivals, and sometimes the carnival in Venice extends to March. So you definitely want to be checking the regions you go if there are any local festivals going on, which is always fun. So the weather is going to be a little chilly for this Floridian girl, but still great enough to go. I have been twice in a row now in Europe during this time. Our first trip was Rome and Florence, and the weather was lovely in Florence. I'll talk about what to pack and a few other things, but weather-wise, we caught a little bit of rain, but nothing that dampened our trip. And as far as, we didn't have to wear a huge jacket as well. So we'll talk a little bit about what to pack for your Italy March trip. But in general, when it comes to Italy, you need to know that the more north you are, the colder it's going to be. So if you're easily cold like me, you may opt to not go too far north. So we went to Rome and Florence because I really wanted to take the kids in Florence. But going down to Sorrento or Naples is also a really good idea weather-wise. So the more south, the warmer it's going to be. So up north, the average weather in Italy in March is between 41 and 57 degrees Fahrenheit. And as you go to more central with Rome, that does get warmer. So that could range from 46, but then can go into the 60s. Then it could go to up to 63, and the southern Italy starts at around 56 up to 64. So as you can see, the more south you go, the warmer it gets. And it does rain less in southern Italy, like Sicily, compared to more up north. Like I said, we've been there in March and it did have a little bit of rain, but nothing like rained all day. You definitely want to check the weather closer to when you go. So another hack that I have for checking the weather and having it be like right on is I actually like to look at live cams, okay? So what I'll do is, so let's say if I was going to Italy in March and I was doing, Rome and Naples, I would find live cam in Rome and Naples and see how the people are dressed. But one thing I noticed, I just did this for winter travel in Naples, and I noticed that Italians are easily cold. They bundle up a little bit more than Americans bundle up. So keep that in mind. If you see people really bundle up, your tolerance might be less, right? Another thing to keep in mind that I've noticed in Europe is that whenever it says it's like 70s, that could be warmer than it feels like in the US. So I do feel like it's generally warmer there when we look at the temperatures. Now, at night, that weather does drop. So for example, I did have boots that I wore like on 2 evenings when I was there in March with my kids, and I did end up using that, okay? So weather-wise, just think between 50s and up to like 63, 64, and with the crazy weather stuff all over the world, that could change. Another thing I did this time is I got another app, which is more of a local app, and I'm going to leave it in the caption below. So it's a good app to install, which I feel like gives you more correct data than the weather app that you use in the United States. So we talked about weather. Best cities to visit, that's going to depend on so many factors. How many days do you have? Because if you're going just for spring break, I don't recommend doing like more than 3 big cities. I always recommend having a base and doing day trips. So for us, for our family, we did, I believe it was 4 nights in Rome, 3 nights in Florence, and then 1 or 2 nights back in Rome. The total trip was about 11 days. So I don't even know if that map is adding up. And in the 11 days, we lose 2 days of travel. So those days don't really count at all. So for us, like I said, it was first time. And I think for over the first time, Rome and Florence are a must. So if this is not your first time, or if now you're taking, your children, again, keep that in mind. Also keep the weather in mind. And then I wouldn't go to, for example, in the Amalfi Coast, Positano, things are probably still opening up. So I probably would do Sorrento, which I love, Rome, Sorrento. And then some people think it's a lovely time to go to Venice or Tuscany. So you will find a couple of things close in Tuscany early March as far as more the agriturismo things, right? But if you go to Florence or Siena, the bigger places, that'll be fine. Another cool thing that we did was we did the drive from Rome to Florence, which allowed us to stop at Bagno San Filippo, which was a nice break from the town. We went to this natural spring. So you might consider doing Tuscany and doing a smaller town before you get to Florence. So those are my top favorites. Obviously, Italy is bigger than that and has some amazing places like Bologna, like Puglia, like Cinqueterre, which I think might be a cool for me to go during that time, to be honest. So best cities is really going to depend. Now, what to pack? What to pack for your trip to Italy in March? Speaking more, to women here. Now, what I like to do when I travel is I like layers because I do get easily cold. So in our March trip, for example, I did have a long coat, but it was thin. It's almost like a black trench coat. So since it was thin, I had some cardigans because I wanted to, usually we'll take a book bag. I wanted to have those layers. Another thing I like to do is take a lot of t-shirts or tank tops that are like white, black, beige, and neutral. I wear a lot of colors, as you've probably seen in my videos, tans and browns. So I kind of like to keep it in the family so I can do some more mix and matching. I've also been loving some Amazon sets, to be honest, because they're just so easy. Like 2 sets can become essentially 4 outfits if they're like similar in color or similar in style. I definitely take less pairs of jeans now than I used to just because my style has changed and I really value comfort. So like a 2-piece set. I do take black leggings, which is a big no-no in some people's eyes. Not yoga pants, but my black leggings, because people in Italy, they dress up, y'all. They dress up a little bit, they're very stylish. So I would take a pair of black pants because I could wear it with like a nice big white shirt. I could wear it with boots and my trench coat. I love hats, so I usually will take one hat or I will buy a hat there because I like to increase my hat collection. A lot of these shirts like this, also a pair of jeans, and then wide leg dress pants. So from Express, they have great ones, and now there's this trending pants Ferrara on TikTok that I really like. So I'll take those dress pants. I'll take some long sleeve, like striped shirt, one striped shirt that I like, that I know that I could also layer with a cardigan if I needed to, or a shawl. I do have a shawl that I take as well. The other thing you might have is definitely an umbrella, just in case it rains. You don't have to buy an umbrella there. So I would definitely take umbrella or 2, depending if you're going as a family. Also, you might want to consider like a long maxi dress or like a long maxi dress that's a little bit more dressed up, so you could wear with either a jacket or like a trench coat or even a cardigan. Now, shoes, guys, comfort. You do so much walking. So I like to do the white sneakers, which some people say is a big no-no, but it is more on the stylish end. So I have the beige shoes, which is, more of that sneaker tennis-like shoe. It's not like running shoes. And I do have a running shoes version of that one, which is super comfortable. And I just got the New Balance ones, the 327s. Super comfortable. Not the ideal for walking all the days. So I would use that on the planes or any days I'm going to be in a train or in a car because I don't want to get it dirty because it is the light sneakers. I've taken my pair of boots for the evening during March, or you could just take maybe some black dress shoes, something comfortable. Now, this is also going to depend on your style. Like, do you like high heels? I don't wear high heels. So I want to take, usually my white sneakers will match with most of my day outfits, and then I'll have like a different shoe just in case for night, but no heels. We are talking about March, so I'm not really taking open shoes unless I see that the weather's going to start being like high 60s and 70s. I might take a wedge sandal. Also flip-flops, because you don't want to be barefoot in those hotels or wherever you're staying. So flip-flops are important. Another thing to pack always is your international adapter because it's a different outlet system there. It's also a different watt system. Be very careful, ladies. Do not take your hot tools because they will stop working. The wattage is different than here. I tried one adapter to see if the wattage would change, and it's actually an all-in-one, which was like an outlet adapter and a hot tool one or a watt adapter, it didn't work. So not taking hot tools, that's really kind of what I'm doing because we didn't get it to work. So this also, if you have a great hand steamer, which I have this Amazon hand steamer, which I love, also it's not gonna work there. It's a different watt. So you want to take the adapters. So a family of 5, we had like at least 3 adapters or else we're fighting over charging things, right? Portable charger, please, please, please have at least 2 if you're a family of 5 because the juice will run out so fast, especially if you're doing a lot of videos and if you're sightseeing. So you want to take the portable charger as well. You might want to take a book bag or a bigger bag for one of you to carry, just because if you get hot or if you get cold layers or if you're like out shopping. So those are kind of the main things when it comes to packing for Italy in March. So you may be thinking what to do in Italy in March. I feel like that doesn't really change much. Obviously, if you go in July to Positano, you're going to be going to the beach. You're not really going to the beach in March. Well, if you are, it's more for sightseeing. I think Capri is probably lovely in March. So the things to do, the typical things to do, right? And if you do catch some rain, you could go visit, like the food market in Florence, for example, is what we did one day. There was some rain there. Actually, no, there wasn't rain there, but we did that in that market, which was really fun. Are you guys into museums? Are you more outdoorsy? So I have another video that talks about going to Italy with teens or Rome, unique things to do in Rome with teens. And I talk about catering to different styles of things. But there's so many amazing things to do in Italy in March. And I feel like it's really typical of what you would do. And one thing we like to do is visit the hot springs. So we had that opportunity. It was chilly, it was cold. We were kind of unprepared, but the kids had such a blast, right? Because it's like you're in the middle of nowhere and then you go to this hot spring. It was just something really cool and different to do to break the hustle and bustle of the city. So there's just a lot of food taste testing that you can do, different foods. I definitely recommend if you're going on spring break as a family for you to understand that sometimes the kids, they just need to not go out at night. And, if they're old enough to stay by themselves and you go out or you cook at home, because I definitely recommend you getting a place if you're going as a family, because that's another way to save some money, is to get a place with a kitchen so you go to supermarket and get snacks, because teenagers get hungry, kids get hungry. So snacks, and maybe one night you want to do like your own kind of cooking, you're tired of eating pasta, right? So that's what we did, and you could save a lot of money that way. Another thing you want to consider saving money for your trip for Italy in March is if you want to get the city card, the Rolla Pass. So sometimes that ends up saving you money and sometimes it doesn't. So you really just need to do the math. And I have another video that talks about saving tips and traveling on a budget. Definitely check that out. So things to do are really going to depend on your style of travel. We're more slower travel, so it's more about food experiences and cuisine, and we don't have excursions after excursions. If you're going to Rome, I definitely recommend the Vatican Museum and the Colosseum, and I have that video about unique things to do. So basically, there are definitely some hidden gems and off the beaten path. But overall, I believe that visiting Italy in March is fantastic. You beat the Easter crowds, right? Because it gets really busy there for Easter. And then the weather could be just enough, lovely enough. And then those prices that you're going to be saving, I could get a ticket to March to Italy under $600 from Florida. You're saving money on flights, you're saving money on hotels. The weather's still good enough. And I think overall, it's a great experience, and it's actually cheaper to fly with your family to Italy than do a spring break trip, let's say California, Las Vegas, especially since I live in Florida and it's so expensive that a lot of people come to Florida for spring break, that it didn't make sense. So the last 2 spring breaks we've spent in Europe, and I'm going to do another video about our Lisbon and Sevilla spring break with the kids last year. So let me know if you have any questions about visiting Italy in March, and definitely check out my other videos that talk about a little bit in more detail about planning your trip to Rome, Italy, and also some other countries. Thanks so much. Ciao.